Hello guys, it's Kosif here, and today this video I'm going to be talking about something totally different. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this as well. And so this begins from 2 days ago. Me and Colton were just talking while working on the project, and I was talking about him while he was asking me some questions, I was talking about how I first started and how I first thought the idea. And I haven't actually told you this as well, and that is the first sort of idea of a project was to make it in around the 4th or 5th age, or maybe the 3rd age as well. Not all together, but just one of them. And this was just to get a whole idea of what RuneScape was like, because you know, it's one thing just replicating RS, and if you were ever to play it, you know, you'd probably do like the quest Dragon Slaying, like, oh yeah, that's basically what I just did in RuneScape, and that's it. And so I sort of want a sort of new experience instead of just copying it, copying RuneScape. So sort of see what RuneScape would be in a different age, since you can't see that in RuneScape. So what does this conclude? So in RuneScape, you start off in the 5th age of the year. Well, the 5th age is 169 years old. Well, long, I should say. And when you start RS, well, basically this would be in going by the lore and the quests. You start off RS in the 5th age on the year 168. It's RuneScape. That'll be the 2002, I believe. So you start off in the 5th age, 168 years in 2002, and like 10 years later, actually no, it'd be 11 years later, the game physically takes a year, because Guthix dies, and that starts the 6th age, and Guthix dies in the year 169. So you know, 11 years in real life, and in the game it's only been 1 year, which is sort of odd. And so we're looking to do it in the 5th age, but at the year 115. So what does this actually mean? Well, we sort of know the steps already of a few stages which happen through that year. So first off, obviously Guthix doesn't die. Sort of stepping back from everything else, Lumbridge wasn't attacked by goblins, and this was in the year 169, but unfortunately we don't see that in RuneScape. You know, it's the same year, but we don't see it. So Lumbridge would be much bigger. The other side of the city, town, yeah, it would be a city. So the other side of the city, well, the river, it would be more houses, more civilians, and not like destruction and debris of what we see in our project today. And the other events would be, and this would be, Edgeville had a mass massacre. This was from the I forgot his name. There was this mage. You kill him in the wanted quest. So the mage, he sort of helps the Kinshra. The Kinshra are the Black Knights, and they sort of, let me just look up on the lore a minute. It's a lot of lore to take in. So they led sort of a army against. No, I'm reading bloody lore. Alright, here we go. So the Kinshra sort of led a huge civilian massacre in Edgeville. This was by Solus Delagar, who was a mage working with the Kinshra, and he sort of became enraged and turned on the Black Knights and the town civilians. So this means there was a huge massacre at Edgeville, but taking this back, there wasn't a huge massacre at Edgeville, so Edgeville would probably be much bigger, because apparently thousands were killed at Edgeville, so Edgeville would be a much bigger town, or it might, maybe, yeah, just a town. There's no news of it ever being a city. So maybe you'll see more houses in Edgeville. So another event would be the Asgardian raids. Going back to the Kintra, this was when the Kintra, or the Black Knights, were sort of invading, or just raiding small villages and farming communities, and this was in north of Asgarnia. Asgarnia is sort of where Falador, the kingdom, Falador, Port Sarium, and other places like Rimington, and Burthorpe and Tavali as well. So the Black Knights were raiding villages north of Asgarnia, and this would be where the Goblin Village is, because originally the Goblin Village was just a small village or a farm, such as where the Kintra invaded, and after it was invaded the goblins moved in. So maybe you'll see the Goblin Village completely remade, and it'll be a community or a farm of Asgarnia where there would be just town folk and normal houses and people walking around. So one of the other major events, which sort of made me and Colton actually start working on this, go back to what we originally intended, was the attack on Crandor. And so I'm sure everybody knows this. This was when a adventurer explored a cave and woke a dragon, and then the dragon destroyed Crandor. And Crandor was a huge city. It was one of the main cities as well, compared to Tharok and Falador. It was we actually have built Crandor with destruction, and it looks so amazing and beautiful. We would love to show you it soon, but we've still got a lot of work to it. And I mean beautiful, I think it's one of the areas we've probably most worked on and made it so superb and perfect. And we just did this out of just thinking, and it's just turned out so great. And that's why we're sort of thinking about doing this through other areas. And so this led to, going back to the lore, just got caught up there. So Alvarg woke up, he destroyed Crandor, he just basically wiped out the entire city and community. People were trying to escape through these sort of fishing boats to Rimington, which was the closest town nearby, and they set up there, but Alvarg soon followed and destroyed Rimington. So this would probably mean, apart from seeing Crandor fully built and being a community and a large city, this would also mean maybe Rimington was different. It's got the odd 5 houses, but maybe it was more houses. Malzar didn't move into the mansion and sort of haunt the mansion, so maybe the mansion was the owner of some sort of rich merchant who was in Rimington. We don't have the information of this because it hasn't been given out, or just haven't delved so much into Malzar's maze yet. So this sort of leads into more stuff as well. And another key point was the winter of 114. This was when the miscellaneous and Asgarnian, this is basically the entire free-to-play area, excluding Alcarid obviously, because you can't have exactly winter there. And this was when it was a whole winter lasted for a year, and this meant a lot of vegetarian or plants and as well as trees died. So just imagine Christmas Lumbridge. We have a video up of Christmas Lumbridge. So I don't think we'll go that far though to make it everything winter, because we're not making a campaign, so it's making it multiplayer only, and it will just be winter for ages. So what we're looking to do is set a project after the winter, because the most probably key stages in free to play, there's a lot of more stages in the 5th age, such as I'm just looking at the lore right now, the mobilizing armies established. The siege of Varrock would be another major one, but it wasn't sort of a huge devastation to Varrock. I don't think much damage happened, and this was when the Majorat Lucian attacked Varrock, but he was stopped. And the other sort of sages are pay to play, so we won't be looking at those at the moment. So we're looking at after the Sages of Winter, but a few years after, probably like 10 or 20 years. So this would be like 19 years before Crandor was attacked. So what does this affect the project currently? So this would mean remaking some areas such as Crandor. Lumbridge would be not attacked on the other side of the river, and as well as the Goblin Village would be a community. So as well as this, it affects NPCs as well. So this is about 50 years before, you know, the player actually starts RuneScape. So this means King Rold, who is the king of Varrock, would be a much younger person. So maybe we'll show him his no, at the moment in the project he's like a fat chubby man, so maybe he's like a strong young king or something. The changes would be recognisable. So affecting quests, it wouldn't affect much quests. It would basically involve removing Dragon Slayer, but we would obviously implant more quests to make up maybe some quests on Crandor to make you explore it more, and this would just mean more basically sailing. We've mentioned the sailing skill before, so maybe in the current stage of the project you couldn't really sail anywhere really. You could probably only sail to Crandor once, but that's only once. So maybe if you want to travel to Crandor, since it's an island, you could sail there all the time. So the reason why we are doing this is because, as I said earlier in the video, we sort of don't want to just be replicating RS. Like I said before, you could do Dragon Slayer quest and, you know, it's just exactly the same as the one in RuneScape. So the probably key advantages of this would, you be seeing areas like Crandor. Probably Crandor is most obvious one, because we hear Crandor as being a huge city. Now I'm probably not guessing people would look so much forward to seeing the other side of Lumbridge not being destroyed by goblins. So maybe you'd like to see what Crandor would look like and do quests on there as well. So this is only a sort of what we're looking into at the moment. The way we've been going so far, it might be the case of starting in the 5th age, or the early 5th age, I should say. So we'll be releasing some information or tours of the areas we've been working on so far. This includes Crandor, obviously, seeing how Edgeville was before a huge massacre, obviously the Goblin Village, and what Lumbridge would look like. So what do you guys know? This is probably a huge change in the project, so what do you guys think about this?